So this will work. But now we got to add some functionality to our box. But first we got to create the coin too, or our pickup item. So what I did here, instead of just making a coin pickup, because for our game it's going to be very simple. Our coin and any other item is going to all be pickup, so they can all basically work with the same exact functionality. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an enumerator first. So we're going to create a, where is it at? Gameplay, blueprint, enumeration. So we need to create our enum pickup. I just renamed it because this is pickup enum. So enumerator pickup. And what this is going to hold is the type of pickup we have. So let's add an enumerator. We're going to add a coin because it could be a coin. We're going to add a health because it could be a health item. We're going to add a shield. I don't know how to spell. Shield. We're going to add a sword. And we'll just add, I guess, elixir. I like elixir more than the word potion. So we'll say that. We might go back and edit and change some things up, but we'll just rock with that for now. And we're going to need to create our parent. And this is going to make everything so much easier down the line. So we don't have to keep recreating the same exact things. So also one other thing we do need to create is an instance, because we also don't want to have to keep casting to the to each item to pick it up. So we need an interface, not an instance, but an interface. So we're going to go to blueprint. We're going to create blueprint interface, item, pickup, interface. And as you can see, I've already done a lot of this. So we're going to create a function real quick. In our function, we're going to just call it pickup item. And that's all we need. And I can't remember, do we need, let me check. In our function, compare it with my old one. I believe we need an input. Let's add it. Yeah, we do need an input. We need a, we can't add that yet. See, everything's kind of running back on each other. So go back. We also need to create blueprint class actor. We're going to call this item pickup parent. And this is what we need to have a reference to. Item pickup. Is it not there? Hold on, let's compile save. We need item pickup parent. There we go, object reference. Item reference. So boom, boom, boom. Now we're going to go into our parent. Where is it? I just created item pickup parent. And what we're going to need is we're going to need our widget. We're going to call it our display widget. And we're going to change that to screen. Everything else should be fine. Do that screen. And we're going to draw. Do we have to change it to draw a desired size? Check. We're going to change it to draw a desired size. We're going to need something else. We're going to need a static mesh, whatever that may be for you. We don't want it to be a child of that. And we're going to need our collision sphere. Boom, boom, boom. And for our sphere, we're going to need, actually, we should be fine. I don't think I changed anything here. All right, cool. And we're going to need a few variables here. So let's go here. We're going to need to create a variable here. We need a variable that says interactable, because we need to check that we're even able to pick it up. And we're going to set this up to where a lot of things can be possible. So we're going to set up, if it has coins, we're going to do integer. If it's a coin, and the amount of coins it's responsible for, we're going to need health. if it increases health and how much is going to increase it. And we need to get our enumeration. I couldn't remember for a second. Item or enum pickup. We need that. Enum item. Boom. Compile, save. Now let's go to our event graph. So we're going to need to do a few things here. So first, on our event begin play, we're going to come off in a sequence. First, let's do a custom event. We're going to call our spin. This is going to make our item continue to rotate. And there's actually a different way you can do this, but the way I did mine, it just didn't work out. You actually can just do, I think it's rotate. Yeah, rotating movement. If you were to add this, you could just make the item spin in place and it would be fine. But the way I did mine, it actually caused it to mess up. So, like I say, there's multiple ways to skin a cat, and this way just didn't work out for how I wanted to do mine. It caused mine to just glitch and be all over the place. So let's do timeline. So we're gonna do our timeline. We're gonna call this timeline spin movement, and all we need to do is just do a constant. Let's play it from the start every single time. We just need a constant. And we need to go. What am I doing? Track. We need a float track. Had a brain fart. 2. Then we need to rename, rotate, float. And we need just the value. 0. And then just 0. Then add a key point at the end, 2. And then 359. Because that'll be a full 360 rotation. Then outside of that, we need to set our relative location for our static mesh. Set relative, rotation. Split, and that's going to be our yaw. Boom. Update, and when it's finished, we need to call it all over again. Spin. Now for our begin play, we're going to do a sequence. And we need to call our spin, so it's spinning right away. Then we also need to do another timeline. Add timeline, spawn in movement. And what this is going to make it do is it's going to make it kind of fly out from the box. Like it's going to pop out, or the breakable item, whatever you decide to make it look like. So we need to do this, and we need to call it a vector. I believe we call it a vector. Let me check my old one. I got my old one here for reference. Yeah, vector. Okay, we need a vector. We can ignore our Y for right now. Let's do it X. So for our X, our first value is going to be this. 0, 0, of course. 0, 0. And our length is 1.5 seconds. That was the length I decided on. So times 0. I don't know why I did 1. 0, 0. And then at the 1, we need, what did I do? I believe I did, I want to say like it was 200 or something. I think it was 250. Boom, boom. And then we're going to add auto. What was it, break? Which is the one that makes it big? I'm going to go user. And then we're going to go user. Cool. So that's it for X. And the Y we don't need, but we do need the Z, because the Z is going to make it go up and down. So now let's go here. We need our Z at time 0, 0. And then halfway through it needs to go up, and then halfway through it needs to come back down. So 0.75. We're going to say, what was my old value? 150. Add another key. And then 1.5 is back down to 0. So add a break. Now we need to now make it user. Make this also user. So now this will go up and come back down, and it'll fly out at a certain area. Boom, boom, boom. Just that easy. We'll rename this move vector. So back to our event graph. we're gonna go, we'll move this down here because I need it down here. Set relative location. I do believe it's location, yes. Set relative location, and we need to do this. And the reason why the rotating movement didn't work for me is because I set relative location. So this isn't moving the whole item actually. It's actually just moving this static mesh along with the sphere. So it moves it off here, and if it rotates outward like this, like a clock, instead of rotating from in the middle. That's why it didn't work for me. So if you want to set yours up a different way, then by all means do that. And then we need to go here, interactable. We need to set it to true, because after it hits the ground and it's done with this, it's true. Set our interactable to be true. And we need to get our sphere, our interactable sphere, and we need to set generate overlap events, because now once it hits the ground, the player can pick it up. Boom, boom, boom. Just that easy. So now, after our sphere is able to generate overlap events, we need to get, no, player cannot step up on this. So can we get on begin overlap, and we'll say does implement overface. This is so we don't have to cast to the player. We can just say, does this implement implement interface? What did I name it? Item pickup interface. Then we'll branch it. Once that happens, we'll go here, and we need to check it does have that interface and it's currently interactable. If both of these are true, we can call from our actor pick up. What did I name it? Because I got two of them. Pick up item. Oh, I done messed up. I'm clicking around too much. Get out of here. Pick up item. We need to run that interface. And our item reference is ourself. And then after that is done, we're going to destroy ourself. Boom, boom, boom. And now this is completely set up. So now we need to create a child of this. Oh my goodness, I did the wrong thing again. So now we need to go and create a child of this item pickup period. So duplicate. Well, no, excuse me, not duplicate. Create child blueprint class. So item pickup, and then we're gonna do dash. I don't know if we can do dash. Dash coin. Boom. And we're gonna organize this in a second because it's starting to get crazy over here. So now we need to go into our coin. We need to select the static mesh, and our static mesh is going to be whatever you have. I have a coin item, so if you have a coin, you could do that. We're gonna do coin. What's the difference between oh, that was bigger. We'll just do coin. Compile and save. And I need to change also in the top of the cell. I need to change make sure the number item matches the type item, and the coin is set to 1. If I set this to like 2 or 3, like say if I want to have different kinds of coins, I can make it to where it's 3. So every one of these you pick up, you get 3 coins added to your total amount. So we're gonna do 1 because this is a basic coin. Compile and save. And now we got to do just a few more steps. We need to go into our breakable box. So in here, we can remove the string. And we're going to create a custom event. Add custom event, spawn, drops. So this is going to spawn whatever we tell it to spawn. So now we need to create this custom event, call it spawn drops. And for now, I was thinking about maybe going back and changing something, but I'm gonna do it like this for now. So we're gonna create another variable. We're gonna call this coins, and we're gonna name this an integer. So we're gonna make these public and instance editable, because you're gonna see in just a moment what I'm gonna change. Health is obviously how much health the box has, but this coin is gonna show how many coins we can spawn. So go to branch. Coins, get coins, and then in. So if this is greater than 0, we're going to do a for loop. For loop with coins. The last index is how many coins we have. And the first index is going to start at 1, not 0. Because if we started at 0, it's going to spawn an extra coin every single time. So true. Then for our loop body, we're going to do this. We're going to get our default scene root. And we're going to spawn actor from class. The actor we're going to spawn is our item pickup parent. Well, no, not the parent. We need the coin. Item pickup coin. And then for our transform split, we're going to get our world transform for our root. We're going to split. Oh, snap, not that. I did that accidentally. We don't need a variable. Split. We're going to get our scale. We need the scale there. But we also need our rotation here. But off of that, we're going to need to add. We're going to add 50 because we don't need it to land. If we leave it at 0, the coin is going to spawn and drop into the ground. So we need it at 50, just slightly above the ground. Boom, boom. And for our rotation, we just split. And based off our yaw, and I determined that because I went here. And if we drop in our breakable box 2, let's make it a little bit bigger. 2 or 1.5. Let's see. Cool. Put it right there. It's gonna bother me. That little OCD triggered me. So now when we do our rotation, you can see that this is the yaw. Like if I rotate it right here, 10, it's the yaw. So right here, based off our yaw, over here, breakable box 2, we're going to get a random float in range. And if it's anywhere from 3 to 359, that's anywhere from a 360 rotation. So that is going to make our coin go out in different directions. So now, boom, boom, boom. The last thing we're going to need to do is go into our character. So in our Aki character, we're going to need to go to our class settings right here. And down in our interfaces, inherited interfaces, wait, where is it at? Excuse me, implemented interfaces. We're going to add, and we got to add our item pickup interface. Boom, now it's there. And as our item pickup interface, we need to do our item, what is it called again? Pickup item. There we go. Pick up item. I did not need to do that. Pick up item event. We need the event. What? There we go. We need the event. So we're going to promote this to a variable. We're going to promote this to our item pickup ref, because we got another one here. So I'm going to clean this up in a moment. Our item pickup ref. And I'm just explaining what this is right here. So we need to get our enum from this. Get the enum. And we're going to switch based off of this. So if this is our coins, what we're going to do is we're going to do our... Oh, one other thing we need to do is get a reference to our game instance right here. And that is done all the way up here. Where is our event begin play? Here. So in our event begin play, after we set up our camera, we cast our game instance. I'm going to do it again for our purposes. We got to get rid of this. Boom, boom. Cast to my game instance. No, not from there. Cast to my game instance 2. We're going to promote this. Get game instance. Promote this to a variable. Promotes a variable as my game instance 2. So we're going to need that. So let's scroll back down. We're going to have to clean up. It's the one thing about blueprints is they get messy really, really fast. So let's go here. And as my game instance 2, we're going to get it. We're going to get a reference to our coins. Get coins plus we're going to add the picked up items. We're going to get coins. Get coins. Add that. And then we're going to set our coins. And after we set our coins to this value, the last thing we need to do is call our function, which is, what is it called? Display overlay widget. Display overlay widget. Boom. We're going to compile and save this. And now let's test it out. It should be working. So now we're going to set our health for this box to 2 hits. And we're going to spawn 4 coins. Compile, save, play. And now let's go ahead and test this out. 1, 2. And what went wrong? Okay, everybody, I figured out what was going on. So here, after our event any damage, we have to actually call our function. Spawn drops. There we go. Compile, save. Now let's go back and test it again. So let's go back. It's got 2 hits and then 4 coins should spawn. 1, 2. Boom. And just like that, and that one went inside a box. But just like that, and our overlay is working. No, it is not actually, because our coins is not set up right. Let's figure out what's going on with that. Oh, wait, I made a mistake. That's right. Again, because I'm getting confused. We need to do our player coins, because it's referencing the other game instance. Player coins. And it probably be less confusing for you, but because I'm doing this on YouTube, I'm getting myself caught up and mixed up. Oh, still, I got to change it here again. Ugh. So the 2 mistakes I made is I got to switch it to player coins. Player coins. Set player coins. There we go. Here, here, here. Now we test it again. It should be working. 1, 2. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes away. Pick another coin that counts. And it counts again and it resets. Mashallah, we got that finally fully set up. It took a bit because I was making mistakes because I duplicate things so I can have a reference to it when I'm making these videos. But alhamdulillah, hope you all enjoyed that tutorial. We're going to continue. The next thing we'll probably set up is picking up items such as our sword and whatnot. And I might fix this up a little bit, but we'll see. But inshallah, I hope y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you need any assistance. And if I went too fast, just message me and I'll try to explain it. You can message me either on YouTube or Discord. My Discord name is MonkayMakesGames. And inshallah, just let me know if you need anything. All right. Assalamualaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.